What's up YouTube, it's your girl AK. We are talking about entries. Now I wasn't even gonna make this video. I was actually gonna make a different video. However, I was looking at my charts. I got an alert on USDJPY and I was like, this is the perfect time to do an entry because we're already like in this correction period. It's already about to shift, and I was like, what better example than to show a live like entry, right? So that's what we're about to do. I'm gonna actually go ahead and get right into it, not waste any time. Sharing my screen right now. Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. So currently we are looking at USDJPY. Currently on the 4 hour, we are on a downtrend. So as you can see, 4 hour, we have made lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? We made another lower low, and we're currently retesting broken structure, like I said in the past, right? Retesting broken structure. And I said when you're in this corrective phase, this is when you want to scale in for your entry, right? This is when you want to change from the higher time frame, which is the 4 hour or the 1 hour, and zoom in into a 15 minute or a 30 minute. So let's go ahead and do that, right? So we're tapping in here. We are going to go ahead and zoom in into the 15 minute. Currently we are tapping this 4 hour area of interest, right? And as you can see, price is already kind of making like strong rejections from this area. I'm already getting like a slight indication that price may not be able to break this level, only because on the 15 minute we did push up, right? We came down. Price tried to break this level and we could not, right? But you have to wait for a little bit more confirmations, right? You can't go off of that. So I understand that this is 15 minute, this is a 15 minute low, and I understand that low gets broken, we are kind of shifting structure here, right? So I would actually mark up this low, right? This 15 minute low, and I would actually place an alert, which I've already done, right? Alert saying that price is breaking 15 minute support. I'm looking for price to just break structure, or for those who trade ICC, you're looking for that indication. A break of structure is indication, right? So we're looking for price to break structure, right, or indication, and then we are looking for the retest or the correction, right? And this is where you're gonna kind of like wait for that entry to kind of come back out here that we kind of discussed in the last video. I realized the last video I showed the pathing tool, but I never showed a live example, like an actual example. And I was like, bro, like, no, there's no way I can just end it off like that. So yeah, so this is the live example. We're just waiting for price to basically break below and retest. When price makes it back to this level, we're just looking to enter back. Your last lower high would be this point right here. Again, we target high time frame targets, right? So as I said, the 4 hour is currently bearish, right? We've been making lower lows, lower highs, as we mentioned before. So I would actually target, and I already have my Fibonacci tool drawn, but I'm gonna redraw it for you. I would actually draw a Fibonacci tool from the swing high of 4 hour resistance to the swing low. Currently, I'm just interested in the targets, not the actual Fib levels themselves, right? And I'm just looking to target the liquidity that is underneath our 0 level. So there's liquidity level sitting down here, right? So we're looking to target that liquidity. And remember when I said, like, when you're in a trend, uptrend, downtrend, price doesn't just stop at liquidity, it goes further, right? So remember when price is trending, right? If you're going in a downtrend and we're correcting, if price is on a downtrend, it's not gonna stop at liquidity, right? No, it's gonna keep going and make a lower low, right? And then a lower high, right? So that's why I like to draw Fibonacci, because I can actually see where, not only where liquidity is, but where price could potentially go even further. So I can hold my trade for even longer, right? I could hold it to the 27. I could hold my trade to the 61. If you trade psych levels, you could even hold it to the next psychological level, right? And that's typically what I like to do. First target, liquidity. I expect it to get to the 27 if we're continue to be bearish. So here's the 27 right here. Do I expect it to get to the 61? Let's see what the daily's looking like. Let's see. My daily is also looking bearish, right? So lower high. But we do have this this swing point right here on the daily, so it's something to keep in mind as we get down here. So as we get lower, it gets a little riskier. We don't know if price is going to respect this daily level or not. I'm actually going to mark up right here. This is a very strong daily zone where price could potentially reverse, so I would be cautious to selling lower than that. In fact, even liquidity might be just a little too much in this case, just because of this zone, like just being cautious of it. I'm still gonna keep my target to 27. I'm just keeping in mind of like the higher time frame structures as well. Like I know there's potential that price can, you know, be bullish above this level. Now if price breaks this level, right, price breaks below this level and retests it, then it has potential to be even more bearish, right? So just keep that in mind. So not completely knocking it, just being mindful of it. None of this matters until price actually comes down, breaks structure, or gives us the indication, right? Comes up, gives us the retest or the correction, and then we can enter that trade, right? But until then, we are just sitting on our hands and we are waiting for our alert to get triggered. So I will probably update y'all if it does get triggered later on and kind of just show y'all my entry at that point. But right now we're just waiting. So okay, YouTube, so it's the next day. We are basically checking on our USD JPY potential entry, right? As you can see, I have it pulled up right here. So if I jump back down to the 15-minute where we were looking, as you can see, we did break out of this potential like entry zone. Price never actually broke and closed below. Right, I actually had an alert placed up here to let me know if price was to make a new higher high. Why is that? Because when we're looking for a correction off of this level, we want to see lower highs being created, and if we make a new higher high, that kind of break, you know, that defeats the whole purpose of like lower highs. So that kind of just like, you know, invalidated this potential entry. So I'm just going to delete these, and currently you can see price is still pushing up, right? We're still in this 15-minute. Now I did say like we are looking on a 4-hour. If price was to break this 4-hour resistance, then we would not be bullish on the 4-hour. When we're looking for entries, we want it to be like below or like at least in this 4-hour area of interest, and we're currently above it. So we're not looking at any sales at all until price comes back below this level. Because remember, when we are doing break and retest, right, and make the correction, that structure is the point where we want to make sure we come back above. So when price is actually dipping back below, like price can liquidate as much as it wants, but we're not really interested in buying until we come up here. The reason for this is because everything below this level, there are sellers sitting underneath this level, right? And everything above this level, we have buyers ready to take over. So we want to wait until price actually takes out the sellers on this level before we actually look to continue to go up moving forward. So that's essentially the same thing that we're waiting for here on USD JPY, right? Currently there is a level where previously, if you look right here on this level, price was buying up, and then there's a point where under this level price was selling below, right? So we're just waiting for price to actually come back down below this level a little bit. Since we're still in this corrective phase of this trend, we are still monitoring on the 15-minute. I'm actually going to place an alert down here letting me know whether or not we break 15-minute structure. Again, we are looking for this particular level to get broken. If price breaks this level, we do not get in just on the break of structure. We have to wait for the actual correction, so the actual pullback. We're retesting this level, and once we see price starting to break back below, this is where we actually want to get in. Looking at the higher time frame, I'm actually gonna hide my drawings. It looks like price is getting to a point where we've grabbed enough liquidity, and we're actually looking pretty weak on this 4-hour candle. So this 4-hour candle actually closes in 15 minutes, and it's going to close kind of like a doji. With price action and candlesticks, you know that a doji candle kind of signifies like a lack of direction. Not lack of direction, but just like that direction we were going to, it's like a lack of momentum. Like we're starting to slow down on this upside. So you might start to see some bearish candles form on the other side. Someone asked me if I trade fundamentals or I check fundamentals. I'm a pretty technical trader. However, I do keep track of like any like red folder news that's going on. So it is NFP week, so we want to be a little careful. Currently, as you see now, we don't have anything going on with US dollar, so I don't expect no crazy movement today. Tomorrow we do have the farmers employment change coming out. Thursday we have unemployment claims. I expect a lot of movement, and then Friday, of course, Friday is when the big movement happens. So we're gonna be pretty careful when trading this. I'm gonna try to stick to the higher 4-hour swing levels when looking to like get in positions, just to protect my my stop. But yeah, I want you to notice how like when you come down to like a 2-hour or like a 1 hour, I'm gonna look at a 2-hour. Notice how like price, of course it's saying 4 hours, but you can still see it on the 2-hour. Notice how price is like making lower lows. Even at this point, this is more like a 1 hour high, but I just want you to notice how price continues to get lower and lower and lower, and price is getting closer to this level. We know that there is a lot of selling pressure here, right? So again, remember how I said like with certain levels there's buyers and there's sellers like waiting in certain places, right? Well, this particular level we saw like here, when price got to this particular level, we sold dramatically, right? We sold dramatically. So there's actually we actually have sellers sitting at this level, right? So at any time, if price breaks above this level, that kind of tells me that the sellers are no longer present in the market and we're looking to shift structure. But if price holds and we can't like go any further past this level and you start seeing the lower highs like I mentioned, that's how you know it's time to enter for sales. So just to keep that in mind about these particular levels, I'm actually gonna put an alert on this level personally, just to let me know that price wants to no longer sell. But yeah, I think we're pretty good here. I am about to drive to work, right? So I'm not gonna be looking at this at all. Whatever price does, we're not gonna know until it hits our alert on our phone. I will catch y'all later and update y'all later. Okay, YouTube, it is technically day 3. So I came back from work. I actually entered the trade a little bit after work. So it's currently 5:03 in the morning, right? I just wanted to show y'all my actual entry because I was not at home when I did the entry. I actually did it on my phone. So I just want to show you my entry. Let me actually start recording now. Okay, we are not recording. So here is my chart. As you can see, we are actually in this USD JPY trade. We did get an entry. I'm gonna break down this entry. I wanted to do it live for you guys, but I got a 9 to 5. I had to work. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. But I will show y'all like what I did. So let's jump back down to, okay. So coming back here, I'm gonna actually go back to a 15-minute real quick. Okay. So remember here on this 15-minute, we finally got that break of structure, right? So remember price, we broke structure. We were looking to break these 15-minute lows, right? Price got the correction. And I basically said, hey, if price can like come down back below this 15-minute level that we just broke, so this red rectangle is our 15-minute level of price, and come back below, I'm interested in getting into sales, right? So kind of like I said, so yeah, price coming down the downtrend, right? There's a point where structure was broken, which would be here, right? And essentially, if price was to come back to retest, but we ended up liquidating a lot of these stocks. This is grabbing liquidity, right? We ended up liquidating a lot of sellers, but we never break this level. We're just waiting for price to come back above that level. Why? Remember, because above this level, we have buyers, right? And below this level, we have sellers, right? So anything above this level, we're buying. Anything below this level, we're selling. So I want sellers to take back control of the market before I get in. I want to have the seller momentum, right? So that's why I want to wait for price to dip back below this 15-minute. Now, while price did dip below this 15-minute, I just wanted to be extra safe with my entry. I wanted a higher time frame breaker structure, because remember, I don't know if I said this in the past, but like the higher the time frame, the breaker structure, the more momentum and the better chances you have of it going your direction, right? So 15-minute was nice, but I prefer to have something a little stronger, mostly because of like where we are in the trend. So if you look, we've been trending down a lot lately, right? Not really sure when price is going to reverse. We're actually at getting close to a very close support zone right now. So I want to be very sure about my entry, right? So I actually waited until price broke this 1 hour structure, right? So I'm gonna actually hide this so y'all can see this for a second. So like I said, while price did break structure on this 15-minute, right, this red zone, it's a 15-minute, we came back and we did dip below. I wanted to wait for a stronger area of interest to get broken, so I actually waited until my 1 hour area of interest got broken. So when you're breaking a higher time frame level, you're gonna have a lot more momentum and you should feel a lot more confident, right? Because we already came back on the 15 and then we started breaking and closing on the hour, I went ahead and got in on the break of this hour. So if you look, okay, so I put my short position back on just to show when I got in. But basically, as you can see, price, we came down, couldn't break. We actually broke structure right here. When the price, like, I think I saw price get here and I got in. We were in a little bit of drawdown for a little bit, but overall we just pushed back down, which is fine. It's okay to be in a little bit of drawdown, that's fine. So if you go down to the 4 hour, I want you to remember like what I said. So basically price, we were making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Price shot the break, we couldn't, boom, lower low, right? We broke structure right here. This zone, this 4 hour area of interest represents broken structure, right? Price, we came up a little bit above it, right? We liquidated a little bit. I said yesterday when price was above this level, I was like, I'm not looking to get into sales until we start dipping back below into this level. Once I saw that we were dipping back into this 4 hour like area of interest, like we were starting to dip back in here, heading down. Once I saw what I needed to see on the lower time frames, I felt comfortable with getting in because we weren't way above the 4 hour area of interest, right? Like if this was happening like up here, I would be a little bit more worrisome. Like I'll be a little bit more worrisome if this was happening above this level, but we're actually like coming back down below. So that's why I feel more confident with getting in at this point. But yeah, currently we are back below this 4 hour area of interest, which makes me happy because that means the sellers are taking over. I'm hoping to see a stronger push below this 4 hour area of interest, but my first target is going to be liquidity, which sits on my 0 hour on my Fibonacci tool, right? Liquidity sitting right here. That's the first target. Second target is my -27 extension on the 4 hour, right? Because remember, like I said, when you're making a trend and you're making lower lows, price is not going to stop at liquidity. No, price is going to dip a little bit lower than that, and that's what the 27 extension represents. So I'm trying to catch the whole move down, right? And then get out. So that is why we are targeting the 27 after liquidity. And I do have my take profit like on my position. I just want to get out because y'all, this is a 1 to 7.6 risk to reward ratio. Like I'm cool, bro. Like I don't need no more than that. Like I don't know about y'all. A 1 to 7, I am amazing. I'm getting out the market. Like once I get to this point, I have no reason to hold longer. While my daily has kind of shifted bearish for internal structure. So if I go to a line chart, you can see that we are making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. We're making our new lower low on the daily, which is beautiful, right? While we are doing this on the daily for internal structure, I want you to keep in mind that externally, we have not broken the external structure on the daily. We have not broken the swing low on the daily, right? The swing low, I'll go back here, we were coming up, right? We made a low. This was my swing low. We pushed up. We're making internal structure down, but we never broken this swing low. So long term on the daily, if you're looking at the swing point, technically we're not necessarily fully bearish until we break below. Until price candle closes below this low, we are still considered bullish. So I'm being very careful the closer we get down here. I'm actually gonna start trailing my stop a little closer to just to make sure we're securing profit in case we do reverse. I'm gonna keep my take profit on, because again, a 1 to 7, give me my money. Just bring me my money, you feel me? Like at that point, I'm not gonna show the full outcome of this trade. I just want to show y'all the entry, and I want to show y'all like how I get into entries like live. So if you found this valuable and helpful, I'm happy. Please let me know if you have any questions. Drop it down below. I will be happy to answer those questions as much as I can. I have another video coming out about my risk management strategy and how I'm able to compound so quickly with these high RRs, right? And how I'm able to grow, turn the small amount to a huge amount, right? So again, if you liked it, I'm glad. I hope y'all are doing amazing in your trading journey. Thank you so much for the love and support. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, y'all. Bye.